Hello MotoGP enthusiasts. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Marc Márquez says the day he first tested a Ducati at Valencia in 2023 was the most nervous of his MotoGP career. The seven-time champion described the pressure of proving himself on a new machine after a difficult period with Honda and a serious arm injury, a test that ultimately reshaped his trajectory and helped pave the way back to the front. Fabio Di Giannantonio says VR46 used the April brake to target the GP26 weaknesses, focusing on front-end feel, braking and tighter turn-in. The Italian arrives in Jerez optimistic that factory work on stopping and cornering will unlock more of the Ducati's race pace as the season moves back to Europe. Jorge Martín arrives at the Spanish Grand Prix 4 points adrift and with momentum that suggests a Sunday victory is only a matter of time. After a cautious start to the year, limited testing, winter surgery and an enforced April brake, this weekend at Jerez is framed as the moment Martín must convert early consistency into a sustained title challenge for Aprilia. Danny Pedrosa has ruled out further Grand Prix appearances, effectively retiring from MotoGP competition for a second time and limiting his role to KTM test duties and occasional media work. The Spanish veteran, a three-time world champion across the smaller classes and one of the sport's most respected figures, says his focus now is on testing and supporting younger riders rather than returning as a wild card or substitute. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Marquez recalled that the Valencia post-season test carried more pressure than simple preseason jitters. After a long association with Honda and a career-threatening arm injury, the uncertainty of whether he could adapt to a Ducati made the day uniquely tense. The day I was most nervous was when I tested the Ducati in Valencia. It was more due to the pressure. High-profile equipment changes amplify scrutiny. For a rider of Marquez's stature, a single test can feel like a crossroads between revival and decline. The move away from Honda, first to a year-old satellite Ducati with Gresini and then into the factory fold, was a dramatic career pivot. Marquez's decision to try a Ducati was born of necessity and ambition, a bid to rediscover form after Honda's struggles and his own physical setbacks. Switching manufacturers late in a career is risky. Success requires rapid adaptation to different chassis behavior, electronics and tire interaction. Marquez admitted the nervousness stemmed from not knowing if he'd be fast on the Ducati. Early signs were promising. He ran near the top of the timesheets at Valencia and the test quelled many doubts, giving both rider and team confidence to pursue the partnership. People already know who Marc Márquez is. More than nerves, it was the pressure of not knowing if I was going to be fast on that bike or not. A strong test can change narratives overnight. For Marquez, those first competitive laps on a Ducati were a crucial psychological and sporting validation. The Valencia test set in motion a sequence that led to race wins, a factory seat and ultimately a dominant 2025 campaign. What began as a tentative experiment became the platform for a full-scale comeback, demonstrating how a single successful outing can alter a rider's fortunes. Motorsport careers often hinge on pivotal moments. A successful test can unlock opportunities that reshape a rider's legacy. Marquez's willingness to embrace change under pressure speaks to his competitive DNA. The Valencia test was not just about immediate lap times. It was a statement of intent that contributed to later achievements and the pursuit of historic milestones. Reinvention is rare at the top level. When it works, it enhances a rider's legacy as much as any trophy. Marc Márquez's account of the Valencia test underlines how pressure and uncertainty can precede revival. That nervous morning at Ricardo Tormo proved decisive. It validated a bold career move, restored confidence, and helped set the stage for subsequent success. For Marquez, the test was less an end and more a turning point. A reminder that in elite sport, risk taken under pressure can lead to the greatest rewards. Di Giannantonio revealed that recent factory sessions concentrated on extracting better front-end grip to allow later braking and cleaner turn-in. The aim is to take tighter lines and preserve momentum out of corners, giving the rider more confidence to push. These past days at home at the factory, we've been working to find ways to better exploit the front end to stop the bike and take tighter lines. Improvements to front-end feel often translate directly into lap time gains, especially on circuits where braking zones and quick direction changes define performance. Giannantonio has been one of Ducati's brighter spots, with a podium in Brazil and consistent top finishes. His result in Ghana underlined VR46's potential, but Ducati's Sunday podiums remain rare this season compared with Aprilia's dominance. Individual strong results can mask broader package issues. A rider extracting a podium shows potential, but team development must follow to make it repeatable. Di Giannantonio sits ahead of Marc Márquez in the standings and was involved in close, physical battles in Brazil and Austin. Those encounters underline both his competitive edge and the fine margins that separate points from penalties. Close racing builds confidence but also raises the stakes for setup choices. A bike that's easier to place under braking reduces collision risk and improves consistency. Jerez's flowing layout and heavy braking zones make it an ideal test for the front-end work VR46 has been doing. Di Giannantonio knows the track well and expects the European swing to reveal whether factory tweaks have delivered the intended handling gains. Familiar European tracks often expose incremental improvements quickly. A positive weekend at Jerez would validate the factory's short-term development direction. Beyond hardware changes, Di Giannantonio emphasized maintaining the sensations that let him ride fast. The team's objective is to keep the bike feeling predictable under braking so he can attack without overcommitting. Rider confidence is as important as technical upgrades. When a rider trusts the front end, lap times and racekraft both improve. VR46's focused work on braking and turn-in addresses clear deficits in the GP26 relative to Aprilia's early season package. If the factory tweaks deliver the promised front-end stability at Jerez, Di Giannantonio could convert his strong form into more regular podiums and help Ducati close the gap. If the improvements fall short, the team will need further development before the European rounds intensify. For now, Jerez will be a key litmus test for whether the GP26 handling upgrades translate into race day gains. The unintended April pause interrupted Martin's rhythm but also offered recovery and recalibration after surgery. Rather than seeing the break as lost momentum, Martin and his camp view it as a chance to consolidate the sensations he found early in the season and arrive in Europe physically sharper. After a great season start, it's important to confirm those same sensations in Jerez as well. Well-timed rest can restore confidence and reduce injury risk. For a rider who missed preseason testing, the ability to arrive fresh matters as much as raw laps. Jerez has produced highs and lows for Martin in MotoGP, missed starts, crashes and a sprint win, so the circuit is far from a guaranteed success. Yet its passionate home crowd and flowing layout make it the perfect stage for Martin to prove his European credentials. Familiar circuits expose both strengths and weaknesses quickly. A strong weekend at Jerez would silence doubts about Martin's adaptability and resilience. Marco Bezzecchi's string of Sunday wins has set the benchmark, but Martin's consistency across the opening rounds has made him Aprilia's most reliable points scorer. The contrast, Bezzecchi's explosive pace versus Martin's steadiness, gives the team a balanced title profile. When a team fields both a high-risk frontrunner and a consistent scorer, it gains strategic flexibility across a long season. Martin's role is to turn that consistency into pressure on Bezzecchi. Ducati's package is expected to be stronger on European tracks, and Martin has warned that the factory machines will be a bigger threat at Jerez. Converting pace into podiums will require Martin to manage traffic, tire wear and the sharper braking zones that favor Ducati's strengths. European rounds often reintroduce rivals who were less visible earlier. Martin must be ready for a denser field of contenders. Martin needs to sharpen qualifying and sprint performance while preserving race day consistency. The April break removed some momentum, so the immediate goal is to confirm the bike sensations he found earlier and translate them into a Sunday win. Managing risk, knowing when to attack and when to collect points, will be crucial. A one weekend at a time mentality paired with selective aggression is the most reliable path from contender to challenger. Jerez is a pivotal moment for Jorge Martín, a chance to validate his early season form, to show he can win on Sundays as well as sprints, and to shift momentum in Aprilia's internal title fight. If he arrives physically restored, nails qualifying and converts his reshaped into a Sunday victory, Martín can turn consistency into a genuine championship bid. If the break has dulled his momentum or rivals exploit European circuits better, the weekend will expose the limits he still needs to overcome. For now, Martín's blend of resilience, measured aggression and home race motivation makes Jerez a defining test for his 2026 ambitions. With several recent absences on the grid due to injuries to active riders, fans had hoped Pedrosa might step in as a substitute, or accept another wildcard. Instead, he confirmed those days are behind him and that he's content with his current role at KTM. Generally speaking, no. Generally speaking, I'm happy with my work as a test rider. For many former stars, the lure of a race return is strong, but Pedrosa's decision reflects a clear-eyed assessment of priorities and the emergence of a new generation. Pedrosa's statistics underline a career of exceptional quality. 221 Premier Class starts, 31 MotoGP wins, 112 podiums and 31 poles. Though a MotoGP world title eluded him, his record across all classes, 54 wins and 153 podiums, cements his place among the sport's greats. Pedrosa combined natural speed with technical finesse. His career is a reminder that greatness is not measured only by championships but by sustained excellence. Since retiring from full-time competition in 2018, Pedrosa has remained active as KTM's test rider, helping develop the RC16 and occasionally stepping into the spotlight with wildcard outings. His recent performances, including a sprint podium at Jerez in 2024 and strong showings at Misano in 2023, demonstrated he could still mix it with the frontrunners when called upon. Test riders play a crucial, often unseen role in development. Pedrosa's technical feedback has tangible value for KTM's progress. Pedrosa cited the rise of younger talent and his satisfaction with testing work as reasons to step back from race weekends. At 41 later this year, he prefers to prioritize KTM's development program and media commitments rather than chase sporadic race returns. Transitioning away from competition while remaining involved in the sport preserves legacy and allows experienced riders to shape the next generation. Pedrosa's influence extends beyond statistics. Admired for his humility, racecraft, and technical acumen, he has been a benchmark for peers and successors. His decision to focus on testing and commentary ensures his expertise continues to benefit the paddock. Riders who become test engineers, mentors, or commentators often leave a quieter but enduring imprint on the sport's future. Dani Pedrosa's announcement closes the chapter on a rare kind of competitor, one whose career combined blistering pace with understated professionalism. While fans will miss the sight of number 26 in race action, his continued presence as a KTM test rider and commentator keeps him close to the sport he helped define. For KTM and for young Spanish talents, Pedrosa's experience remains a valuable resource. For the wider MotoGP community, his retirement from race weekends is a moment to celebrate a career that enriched the premier class for more than a decade. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!